Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and we're directorless today.
We are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody's going to be able to tell, but we're just going to be editing this in post.
Yeah,
with our new fancy dancy switcher.
Fancy dancy switcher. Just records both feeds at once, and we can mix it down to one little file. At least that's how Danny just explained it to me.
AV nerds.
AV nerd.
AV nerd.
Anyway, so is this episode 1 of season 8?
Technically episode 2, because Mission Impossible 2 was episode 1.
I guess we could have.
But we recorded that so long ago. This is the first official season 8 episode.
That is a new movie.
That is a new movie.
That we will be doing a compliment sandwich for, because we're going to forget.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to do that.
It's okay, I forgot too, but we're going to do that in a minute. So let's just do a little quick thing. Wolfman, Leigh Whannel, Invisible Man director from 2020 when that came out. Great movie.
He also did a little movie called Upgrade.
He also is the co-creator of Saw. So, yep. And that's about all you need to know. So let's get to it. All right, Wolfman, let's do our compliment sandwich, because I almost forgot what it was called before we actually forget to do it this time. So I'll start. One good thing about Wolfman, I really liked how the camera moved in this movie. It's flowing through and everything, and it kind of... I don't know if the Invisible Man did this, because I haven't seen Invisible Man in a while, but like while he was transforming in certain scenes, it was going like... with the camera. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I just like little things like that. It just brings it all together. Something bad about the movie? You're gonna laugh at me. The pacing.
Oh my god.
The pacing.
I would have never seen that coming.
Yeah, but am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
I know. That's what I thought. The pacing's a little weird. Like, it's a very slow start to the movie, and then it kind of picks up, and then it goes. It's just, it doesn't make sense in certain aspects, and we'll get into that more in the actual podcast itself. So, and one other good thing. No, there is a good thing. I promise.
You got this.
I promise. There's a good.
I believe in you.
I don't. When the movie is at its best, when it is telling the point of view perspective of the Wolfman himself, and when he is going through the changes and everything is changing around him, it's just really cool. It's something we haven't really seen in these types of movies before, and that is when this movie is at its best.
Okay. So my compliment sandwich is, I like the fact that it's definitely more first person. We never got to see, like, it's always been like an external transformation, like, oh no, what's going on inside of his head? We don't really know, because we're scared for our lives. This guy's turning into a wolf. So we actually get to see his perspective and like the different like how he hears things, how he sees things with like glowing eyes and stuff.
Okay, jumbled and stuff like that too.
Yeah, it's all confusing. He's like, I don't understand you. And so we both, inside it for a little bit at least, he's still himself. We don't actually get to see if he's still himself inside of his head by the end of it. But one bad thing though, they used some pretty noticeable CG or pretty noticeable AI during that perspective. Did you see the girls' faces?
Yeah,
like, it just looked all weird.
I did, yeah.
This is...
now that you mention it, yeah, I do remember seeing that, but I just chose to forget it.
Yeah, wasn't good. But I guess a good thing is that I do like the performances. I think the girl was okay.
Yeah, she wasn't annoying. She
wasn't annoying.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so, you know.
Julie Garner.
Christopher Abbott. She's always good.
Yeah. And Leigh Whannel was in the movie as well at one point. So
he was?
Yeah, apparently, according to IMDb, he played Dan. I don't know if that's not the father. No, I think that's the guy that had the hunting rifle at the beginning. I think that was him.
No, that's not, because he was the guy in Upgrade with the shotgun arm, where he like loaded his forearm.
Yeah, I don't know, but it says he plays Dan. I don't know. I don't remember who Dan is.
I'm Dan, and you're Dan.
All right,
full circle.
Spoilers from here on out for Wolfman. All right. Before we really dive into the nitty gritty of this movie, there's not very good reviews for this movie right now, and I don't think they're warranted. I think this movie is better than they're giving it credit for, just because of like these little things we've talked about already. It's fun. It's just a fun movie. Like, critically, no, this movie's not great at all. But like, it's exactly what you expect from a monster movie.
Yeah, I think maybe the criticisms are... Invisible Man really reinvented that whole idea. And so just to see Wolfman kind of, sure, it reinvented it. It didn't like change everything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just, now we get to see it
It's
from his
modern day
perspective.
retelling.
Yeah. Like at least, okay, so like Invisible Man was sort of explainable. Like you could explain away, like there is technology where where cameras, if cameras can make planes invisible and stuff, right? Like stealth, like they can take views of the sky, replicate it with AI, and basically you turn yourself invisible. That's possible. This guy actually just turns into a wolf. Not really realistic.
Well, but like that's how the whole Wolfman thing is, though.
I get it. I don't know how you would be able to
like
replicate, maybe make like an extreme form of rabies, which they kind of did anyway. So it's like, I don't know. But I also did like the gore in this. I was like,
there's some good body horror when he's actually, the nails like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. It was nice and gory, nice and juicy.
Juicy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have used that word. That's a.
I mean, I bet you that arm was juicy when he was biting into it. Barbecue.
I was like, yeah, that was really good sound design in this movie. That's one thing.
The spider scene really was really cool. I love that whole one. Yeah, so I'm thinking like, oh, is like the other Wolfman guy, is he at the door? Like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I do think like kind of like the Scream 2022 problem. We know that one scene where Dylan Minnette is just walking around the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I do think that it's going to kill the rewatchability of a few scenes because there's a lot of that where it's like, what is that? But we already know what it is, and it's like the reveal's there. There's not much more to offer in those scenes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of original scenes in this movie. Like you're trying to like figure out like there's not a lot of originality. There's a lot of taken from certain things. Like the spider scene, that was good. I think the original scene was, I guess, the truck is upside down in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty cool.
How did he actually get infected? Did he get cut?
So you remember?
I thought it was the glass that cut him.
So no, it was the Wolfman's arm came in and scratched him.
Okay, that's what I figured
it didn't
must
look
have
like
happened.
that, but that is what happened.
I thought he went like this with he hit the glass, and then the glass like.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about before we get to Oregon. So, like, the whole thing is like this family drama thing where they're growing apart as a couple. They have a kid.
Right.
The typical thing you've seen a million times.
Although, more traditional folks will probably criticize this movie because it's so blatantly clear. This guy's the stay-at-home dad. This girl's the working mom.
Modern day retelling.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so there's some people that are going to criticize that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's just a strong father figure.
Yeah.
And
he's trying to not be his father.
Exactly. And there's reason for it. That's a great setup. I love that. And then, and also he let his anger get out. We had a little hint of that where he's like, I need you to listen to me.
Just a little twinge.
Who lets them, like what kid would be like, I'm going to walk on this construction thing just in the middle of the city street?
Okay.
When I was a kid, like I wouldn't even do that. But his temper gets the best of him, and he yells, like, "Oh, like what am I thinking?" I love that little callback. So that's a cute little
and then the whole thing with the daughter and saying, "Oh, what am I thinking now?"
Exactly.
It's a cute little thing. They brought it back a little too much, I think, but if they did it once in the beginning and then once at the end, that would have been a better emotional impact. They didn't need to bring it back again, but I think they brought it back again because of the pacing issue. It's like, oh, you forgot that happened? Oh, yeah, that happened so long ago. Right.
Yeah.
But
the problems come into this where it's just how thin everything is. We get one scene of
lukewarm.
These guys are not having a good time in their marriage. Also, in the argument between can you take that call in the other room? He was totally right in that. You can't just barge in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But she's a journalist.
She's important though.
Big important, big city journalist.
Yeah,
doesn't specify what city, but we can infer in New York, or Chicago, one of those.
Right.
So,
but it's you have a small little seed there where it's I'm not sure if I can relate to my daughter anymore. That's a valid thing, especially for a mother, where it's that's the traditional role, right? It's kind of unspoken for the rest of the movie. There's no moment where it's I need you to step up, mom, be my protector.
There kind of is when she's trying to rescue him from the Wolfman.
It is, but it's
it's not
it's
clear
like,
enough.
oh yeah, sure.
It's-
you know, and like, well, let's go with it. There's no like,
It's thin, as you were saying.
yeah, it's just
Yes.
like it is what it is. So, and then it's very very contained. And it's closed looped, like it's ended.
Yeah.
Like there's no continuation. I liked the fact that Invisible Man was able to kind of go through a bunch of different locations, go through a bunch of time, like span a few years, I think, and just her and also her mental health declined because she's being haunted, basically. This all happens within a night, and it's kind of like, okay, we've had enough fun. Let's just shoot each other at the end, and then it's over. And there's no more Wolfman from what I know. Unless the guy who bit.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the very, very beginning of this movie, and that was the kid who is Christopher Abbott's character is with his father hunting in the Oregon wilderness.
Which great suspense in that. Like I was expecting the generic, like when you're looking through the sniper scope, you see him pop up, but they didn't do that. I'm so happy that they didn't.
Yeah, and then when they're in the little treehouse, like outpost looking thing, you can see the breath of the woman,
and then it doesn't go in.
And then you see it behind them, but nothing happens. It's a really cool thing, and it's a really nice, subtle way to open this movie.
One small edit I would have made. Have the shot just be wide enough so they're sent, like the kid and the dad, they're centered in the frame, and then because like they zoomed in on the breath. I'm like, I don't want it to be like, I want it to be real subtle like that. Like that's
like you don't need to hit it on the head like
you
that.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the in Force Awakens, you know the scene where like Kylo's having a temper tantrum.
There's many, but yes.
when like Rey escapes and he's like, no, and then you see like outside of the room, you see all this shit happening, and the stormtroopers come around the corner. I would have loved if that was just one shot,
undercover boss,
and then but it's like one shot. I wanted to just be one shot, and like just you see the stormtroopers just turn around, but they actually zoom in. They have a second shot where it's a more medium shot on them. I'm like, okay, well, we get it. You're telling a joke. I like subtlety like that,
Yeah, it's there, but it's like, come on, you can do better. Yeah. We talked about the intro. We talked about them in the city. All right, when they get to Oregon, they're going because the state of Oregon is officially declared Christopher Abbott's dead. So, so clean out the house for like the summer. Oh, maybe we can come back together as a family in this summer. I guess it's a very beautiful place. Yes,
right. That would not have fixed the marriage if everything went all fine.
But hey,
that would not have done
he's trying.
Yeah, I respect.
He's trying.
It wouldn't have worked, buddy. Though.
No. So they get there. They see this. They're like, "Oh, is this it?" No, it's not. But the guy in the outpost.
Why has it got to be creepy? Just be like, "Hey, neighbor, what's going on?"
No,
don't be like.
Not a lot of people live up there. Remember, Danny? Not a lot of people live up there.
Well, you just forget how to human?
So they end up driving. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll help you drive up. And Julia Garner's like,
Nah.
Nope.
I don't want this creepy-ass guy with me and my child.
Yep, nope.
Nah.
Oh, let him up in front. But yeah, so they start driving. It's dark out. Takes his eyes off the road. Something's there. We crash.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
generic,
pretty generic, but hey, it's fine. I mean, that's how he becomes the Wolfman. I think it's a little too far into the movie at this point where he actually becomes infected. Like, it's got to be sooner. They could have cut some of that city stuff down. Like, I get you want to get to the heart of this movie, but like, you gotta go faster.
See, but it's weird though because it's almost like I wanted more establishing like their relationship, how it should be. Like I want them to be happy at the beginning, then see a bad scene, and then they try to. But yeah, I get it. It's like there's just too much stuff, and then it's not getting to the point.
And it's only like an hour and 50-minute movie. Like, but I don't know. There's just some things you got to cut. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm sure he cut as much as he could, honestly. But
yeah, but then it's just like I don't know.
So running through the woods, get to the house.
Yeah, but and then they also have this like it's a lot of like we're gonna try to escape. Oh no, the Wolfman's here. Run over here. Okay, now it's really suspenseful and quiet again. Oh no, the Wolfman's here again, and then they just go to the next location.
Yeah, there's a lot of time in the house too where there's not a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
suspenseful. Yes,
I feel for them because it's like, what can you do? You know, you can just have
wait until
the
dawn.
Threat of the Wolfman outside.
You didn't hear me.
What?
You gotta wait until dawn.
God.
Okay.
Yeah. You have the Wolfman outside. That's it. And then you have the Wolfman turning into the Wolfman inside. So you have this real character drama and like, but it's weird because they do it. They do everything that I would want them to do. There's just no urgency. It just doesn't feel
like it does in some instances, but like
maybe what I would have liked, maybe Julia Garner's like, okay, Daddy's sick. Let's lock him in the room.
Yeah, like why do you leave your child alone with him?
Yeah, they
you
just
know
kind
there's
of,
something going on.
Something's up. Like have like a point of no return. Like, okay, you're having a moment. We need to lock you in here, and then then at least it's like a different sequence. It's something variety that we're going.
Yeah, but like that's too easy.
Yeah,
like where do you go from there though? Like they do wait till dawn.
Well, then
like, it's. I don't know. We're trying to restructure this movie to make sense, and it just
also
doesn't make sense.
What if they got in contact with somebody on the radio? That would have been cool.
It would have been. It was a red herring, so it's fine.
That's what makes this movie feel so
blah.
Yeah,
there's not enough happening.
Yeah,
not enough at all.
There's a couple routes you could add some stuff, but they just don't.
So there's just escaping. There's like okay, then we gotta get to this car. There's a car out there. There's keys.
Yeah, and
she got the keys very easily.
I like the whole bit with the battery, and it's like you have the real world. Like okay,
how does she know how to do that? She's a journalist. There's nothing that indicates to us that she knows how to do that stuff because she's in the city. She's from the city.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just.
Well, he can't do it.
Well, yeah,
the little girl can't.
But like,
do it.
how does she know exactly what's? I don't know. It's a little out of the ordinary for me. That I was like,
I mean, I don't know.
There's no believability.
I learned how to charge a battery because like our car broke down at the drive-in one time, so we had to figure it out.
But again, she's from the city.
Yeah.
You might not even have a car.
She doesn't have a car.
Yeah. See, like you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking about. It's like that doesn't seem realistic enough. We get to a point where he actually transforms. Really cool scene. Really gory. Really good body horror. And we haven't even really talked about him transforming and how it actually
the prosthetics slowly adding on. And
the prosthetics are slowly adding on. His point of view. It's just really cool stuff going on, but from character study perspective of how he's becoming this Wolfman. But that I don't know. Like it's just again not enough.
It's like it is what it is. It's kind of like it's there.
It's cool, and I want to see more of it, but I also don't want to see more of this movie at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like terribly awful like everybody's
it's a good
saying.
short film. It's a good short film.
Yeah. But it's weird because it was from the 30s. It was one of the first movies that everybody knew.
This version, this cryptid backwoods version of the werewolf is better understood, I think, is like a short 15, 20-minute film.
I almost like the lore of it. Like, like there's like this disease, the face of the wolf. Like, oh, it's cool. Like,
it's like Sasquatch, but you're a wolf. I don't know. Yeah. There's a sickness in the woods.
So wait, we just did a vampire movie, and now we're doing a werewolf movie.
Yeah, it's a time of year, and it's not in Halloween.
But this one isn't as horny as Nosferatu. Like nowhere near.
This has no horniness at all, really.
I think there's mention they haven't done it in a while.
That's it.
It's actually anti. It's it's the opposite of that.
There's no nudity, no sexuality in this movie whatsoever. Okay, cool.
I just thought it was funny because it's like what's better, vampires or werewolves?
Yeah. All right, let's get
vampires apparently.
Let's get to the very, very climactic part where we find out the original vampire, the original werewolf is his father. His father went into the woods to look for this, saw it coming,
and then he turned into it.
Yeah.
The question is the original werewolf still out there?
We don't know. Probably. Or did he kill the original werewolf after it scratched him? We don't know. It's all up for interpretation, and I mean,
I'd like if it was.
Yeah, we're definitely. I don't know. I really just.
I thought it was like a good I killed my dad.
Yeah, and now I'm a werewolf. No, I don't. I can't live.
Can't live anymore. This generational trauma needs to end with me. It's like a little bit there,
It's there, but it's not fully fleshed out enough. Flesh. Does this kill any hope for the monster universe that he's not trying to build, but that Universal, I think, is trying to build?
I mean, I think this is serviceable enough. Like because it doesn't need to tie into anything else. It's fine. The idea, I still like the reimaginings of not in a modern take, but just like a new Elseworlds take or whatever you want to call it on these types of classic horror or monsters.
For sure.
So if we can get one on the Mummy, sure.
As long as it's not Tom Cruise.
It's not Tom Cruise. And make a good trailer.
God, no, we don't want that. What would be the next one you'd want to see out of all these original ones? Like, we're getting a movie from Maggie Gyllenhaal later this year, The Bride, with Christian Bale as Frankenstein.
Oh, okay. So what are the other ones? Like,
he's Dr. Frankenstein, and then Jacob Elordi is playing Frankenstein's monster.
I mean, we already... Does Nosferatu count in this thing? Or are we talking like Leigh Whannell's versions of this?
Lee Whannell's reimaginings. Like, okay, so obviously The Bride is not going to be part of this, but like, what do you want to see?
What is on the table?
I don't know, like big old school monsters, like that kind of stuff. Like,
the ones I know are just Dracula, Frankenstein,
or like a Black Knight thing.
Invisible Man.
Like a Black Knight.
Is that one of them?
I don't know. I'm just thinking Scooby-Doo.
I mean, that could be cool. Tell a legend.
Or the Flying Dutchman. It's not a thing, but
that's a thing.
Is it an actual thing?
Well, Davy Jones' Locker.
Yeah, Davy Jones, like an actual Davy Jones thing, like a real world thing, not a Pirates of the Caribbean thing.
Yeah, I mean, so tell like those legend stories of urban legend or whatever.
And you don't need to make a modern necessarily, but like a modern take would be cool to see how you could be creative and make these your own.
You know what movie I'd like to see? I'd like to see a Bigfoot movie, but it's a parody, I guess, and they're scamming everybody.
What?
It's like like Fly Me to the Moon, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a comedy, like, oh, we're around. we're doing
and then
Bigfoot, we're lying to everybody.
By Bigfoot.
Yeah, then like at the end, it's like the post credit scene is like, oh, it's a real big. He's real.
All right, so before we discuss what's next for the podcast, what do you give Wolfman?
Yeah, I am not going to watch this one again. I respect Leigh Whannell. I like him as a filmmaker. This one is just really thin. Did he write it? And I'm not even sure. Whoever wrote this, it's just kind of thin. Just needed a little more work.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe... Well, it's weird because he started off as a screenwriter. So it's like you'd think,
Him and Corbett Tuck wrote this. I don't know what she has written. This is her first thing. Okay. But he's the main writer still.
Okay. Well, yeah, the screenplay's just not good. The directing, though, hints of
the
genius,
ideas are there. Like, he has great ideas. It's just the execution.
Yeah, it's just whatever. So, yeah, but I am interested in seeing what he does next. So I'm going to give this one 70.
Yeah. There's a reason this movie was moved from October to January. And that's never a good sign because January and February are the dump months. So, like... It's hard because I like some of the things with this, like I've said a lot, like the perspective stuff and the body horror. It's really well done. And as you said, really thin movie. 73. Cool. I might come back to it at some point, but I don't think it's going to be for a bit. Yeah. Invisible Man, I actually have to rewatch because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because I remember
it came out.
I remember really liking that one.
Me too. I hope it still holds up.
I know Aldous Hodge is great in it.
Yeah, I forgot he's in it. I honestly didn't know who he was at that point.
That's where I found out who his name was or what his name was. I'm like, that guy, I like him.
I like that guy.
Yeah. He just did Cross season 1.
Cross is so
a great show.
good. Oh my god! I think I told you to watch that. Yeah, it's good.
So good.
Yeah. Anyway, Prime doesn't miss. So we're Cinema 4. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @CinemaForecast. Yes, TikTok. 8.
It's still there.
It's still there.
We saved it.
SCENE Forecast. And you can find me on Letterboxd, DonutMan96.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Was, my Letterboxd and serialized at DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was.
Next, for Scene Number 4. It's going to be a few weeks again. Sorry.
But tune into Duel of Debates in the meantime, because we're going to be posting episodes like that.
Yeah, we got our next ones we're going to have for that are we're going to have Sean and Scott back on to talk some Star Wars, to talk some Spider-Man stuff, to talk some animated TV shows. It's going to be a good time. And as for us, I've seen it before. Mission Impossible 3. Our rewatch continues for Mission Impossible leading up to the final reckoning. We're gonna We're gonna keep finding out. We gotta wait for this trailer to drop. Like, we need another trailer. We can't just have that one thing they released like 2 months ago. Like, come on, we need more.
I just want to see a different poster because it's just Tom Cruise.
It's just Tom Cruise's his 60-year-old face.
He's like,
he's looking 60 now.
Yeah,
at least in that picture. Like in the movie, he doesn't. It's hit and miss. I don't know if he's 60 or not. It's very.
You can like notice it a little bit in his like.
Yeah, it's
the roundness of his face.
Crazy from like just from Dead Reckoning to this. Like it's showing already. Yeah. But hey, it happens to the best.
But his hair's a little longer, so
you're gonna continue this fucking.
It's an even number too. So there you go.
Oh God. Anyway, yeah, it's been an honor as usual. We'll see you next time.